What is up, Clemson Tiger fans? What is up, college football fans? Happy Sunday to everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of State of the Fan Address, addressing the state of the fans for the Clemson program. Those of them who are left, I think all the bandwagon fans are gone now, so I think the rest of us are good. Anyway, it's a beautiful day here in the low country of South Carolina, and every day above ground is a great day as far as I'm concerned. I don't really know what to say in this video that I haven't said in the last however many of these videos I've done this year, with the exception of maybe one game. Is anybody surprised at the way we saw the game unfold in Raleigh yesterday? Because I'm not. And I mean, it's the same story week in, week out. Same problems, same head scratching play calling, same head scratching turnovers, same head scratching roster management. Now we did get to see, we did get our wish. Now that's not the way I wanted to get my wish, with Phil Moffitt and playing the entire second half, and the only reason that is because Shipley went down and got hurt, and of course that sucks. I hate that for him. Hopefully he can get back on the field sooner than later. I don't know. I haven't checked this morning to see what the status is with him or anything. I don't know how serious it is. I'm sure some of you may know, and you can let me know in the comment section. But not surprised by the outcome at all, because it's the same thing we've seen all year. So I'm not going to harp on all those things, the turnovers and the play calling, because it's just, I'm repeating myself week after week at this point. So if you want my opinion on any of that stuff, you can go back and watch the last 3 or 4 State of the Fan Address videos over the past month or two. Anyway, something that did surprise me. Now, I was streaming yesterday. I streamed the Clemson game, then I streamed a couple games after. I was streaming till whatever it was, 10:30 or 11 o'clock last night. So I didn't immediately after the Clemson game have a chance to go and watch the Dabo Swinney post-game press conference. And quite frankly, right when that game ended, I wasn't in the mind frame to go listen to it, because I figured it would just make me mad. And I've been hard on Dabo Swinney this season and last season. I've given him his praise where he's due. I thought he made a bold, ballsy move, firing Brandon Streeter after one season, after promoting him from within, and then going out and getting Garrett Riley. I know that's not easy for somebody like Dabo, or any coach to do, but especially Dabo. So I commend him for doing that, and he's done a lot of great things, believe me. But I've been hard on him this year. And it's not even, it doesn't even really have so much to do with losing football games. Yeah, watching your team lose football games sucks. It happens to everybody. Nobody's perfect. Every team goes through ups periods and down periods. And Clemson over the last 12, 13 years, up until this year really, has been one of the most consistently winning football teams in the country. I think you all know the streak's going to end this year, even with a bowl win. If they make it to a bowl, there's zero chance they can get 10 wins. So the 10-win season streak is snapped, along with a lot of other streaks along the way. A lot of teams beat Clemson for the first time in a million years this year and last year. But anyway, I was expecting a little bit more of that from Dabo in the post-game press conference, where, you know, he gets defensive and starts poking the needle at whether it's the fans or whoever, the media. Nothing to see over here. Everything's just fine at Clemson. There's no problems. We're only 3 plays away from being a playoff team. You know, the whole thing, just what he says every week, or what he's been saying every week for a while now. He didn't say that yesterday. Actually, yesterday what he said was, in my opinion, about as genuine as Dabo Swinney gets. Because his critics call him a snake oil salesman, and, you know, he's full of shit and all this kind of thing. And I see where they kind of get that. It's kind of his personality and his delivery and whatnot. But I think, at least for me anyway, somebody who's watched Dabo Swinney talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours over the years, it's pretty easy for me to tell him when he's being defensive and when he's being genuine. And I think the response you got from him yesterday after the game was genuine. Now, did it answer all of the questions that us Clemson fans want to know? The answer is no, and I didn't expect him to give any answers following a loss in the middle of the season, saying, well, this is what I'm going to do in the offseason to fix it. They still got football games to play, and even if he does know where he's going to go, what direction he's going to go with the coaching staff and the personnel in the offseason, he's not about to tell you it now. So I didn't expect that. He didn't give us all the answers. But what he did do was stop making the excuses. And he even said so much. He said, look, at this point, he called himself out, basically. The excuses have run dry. There is no excuse. He took full ownership, said it was 100% on him, and that it's up to him to fix it. So all of those things are great, and that's what you expect your coach to say. The thing that really sort of caught me off guard, not sort of off guard, it caught me off guard, is he appeared to get a little bit emotional. You know, he wasn't crying or anything, but you can just tell when somebody's getting emotional. And he said it was a hell of a run. It was a historic run. And he said that 3 or 4 times. It was a hell of a run. It was a historic run. It's going to go down in the history books, that run that we went on. Almost sounded like his retirement speech, which was really weird. You know, to hear him just, I never expected him to take that route. So I'm like, what is going on? He's talking about Clemson's success as if it's all in the past and not in the future. Well, he then followed that up by all streaks like the one that we went on have to eventually come to an end, which they clearly have, right? This isn't a one-season fluke thing. Yeah, they won 10 games last year, but, they still didn't play up to their potential. But anyway, he said, but all good streaks must come, or all great streaks must come to an end. He said, now it's up to us to start a new streak. In other words, we're moving into a different era of Clemson football, officially, according to Dabo Swinney. And I believe him because of all the talk. I must hear this question on my channel and on social media and everything 20 times a day. Either hear it or read it. Is Dabo Swinney going to get fired? Is he going to retire? Is he moving on? The answer to all of those questions is no. At least not now. He's not getting fired. He doesn't deserve to be fired. I mean, the guy's built up enough chutzpah and brownie points and respect at Clemson University to be fired because of the performance they've had in this season. After so many, whatever it was, 12 straight 10-win seasons. I'm not going to read off all the winning statistics that Dabo Swinney has. So the answer is no. But I feel like what he was saying was the old Clemson of the last 10 years is in the past. We have to take a different route. I'm hoping that's what he's saying, is we need to basically reset, restart, and then let's work towards making another run in the near future, whether it be next year or a combination of next year and 2025. So, that's great and all too. I like that mindset. Then the question is, the million-dollar question that nobody knows the answer to. And there's a cop here. The million-dollar question that nobody knows the answer to is exactly what are you going to do to start a new run? What exactly are you going to do to fix this? And again, I never expected or do expect him to just openly say what he's thinking as far as what changes he's going to make or not make in the offseason at this point in the season. No coach would do that. Dabo Swinney's no different. So I don't fault him. I don't fault him for that. So we won't know until for a couple of months now, and maybe throughout the summer, exactly what changes he is going to make. What is he going to do with the transfer portal, if anything? Coaching changes, all that kind of thing. We have to see who's going to transfer out. We have to see who's leaving to go to the NFL and who's going to decide to stay another year. You know, the roster management is a big issue right now for the Tigers. But now, last but not least, I can't understand why, and I'm seeing sort of a back and forth with Clemson fans regarding this subject. I tweeted out yesterday after that very predictable, terrible interception that Cade Klubnik threw. I said, what are we doing? Why is Cade Klubnik not being benched? And I'm not talking about benching Cade Klubnik indefinitely, but what happened when DJ you had turnover issues? You threw his ass on the bench for a couple of series. Let him think about it. Maybe even an entire game, right? Never had the intention of benching him for the season. Just let's let him sit down and think about his decisions. And let's see if we can get a different spark with one of our 4 quarterbacks. I mean, they brought in a guy who's been freaking 26 years old, guys like in his 8th year of playing football. He hasn't seen the field. I know that they're redshirting Vizina, but you can play 4 games and still redshirt. And then you've got Bear Bryant's grandson, who also transferred in. I don't understand. What do you have to lose? The guy that you have in there week in and week out, the guy that I know you want to stick with for the future and you have all the hopes and dreams for, and he's very talented and he's a great kid and blah, 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 blah. What makes you think that putting somebody else in for a few series or a game is going to lose you anything when the guy you've got in there does nothing but throw it to the other team every single week? So what's the worst that could happen? You bring somebody in for a game and they turn the ball over? Well, you're not missing anything because you're turning the ball over anyway. But what do I know? Apparently nothing. I thought he should have been benched just based on his insubordination by not following the play call in a crucial part of the game in overtime last week. I thought he should have been punished for that alone. But no, he started this week and we saw more of the same. Yes, I know. Before you tell me and type in the comments section 100 times, please. I know this is the other thing that people are telling me. It doesn't matter who you put that back there at quarterback, the offensive line's so bad. Well, that is true. I will concede that. That quarterback play is not the only problem. Clearly. The offensive line has a lot to do with that as well. But to me, if you've got all these guys on scholarship on the roster at quarterback, if you've got one that's just not playing well for whatever the reason is, you need to move on, at least for a short period of time. And I'm going to leave it there. We can agree to disagree. But one thing is clear. When Dabo sticks with a quarterback, he really sticks with the quarterback, right? With all the pressure last year with DJ, he stuck to his guns. And, benched him a little bit, but he never took the starting role away from him. And then now, with Cade Klubnik is clearly the guy. So there's no reason to even speculate on who's going to start next week or the week after that or the week after that. That's ridiculous. There's no reason to do that at this point. It's going to be Cade Klubnik. And I guess, you know what? Screw it at this point. You got 4 losses. Let him go out there and hurl the ball around and throw interception after interception. Let him get it out of his system. I don't know. Shit. Let's just play backyard ball. We're either going to throw for 800 yards next week or 3 yards. Doesn't matter. Let's just go crazy. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today, guys. I guess I've rambled on enough about Dabo Swinney and about all the issues that I've had all year. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's done to fix this issue. This team's way, way too talented to be losing to teams less talented than them. And that's not my opinion. That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the Midday Show.